Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing the Whitney Simmons Grow Your Booty Complete Leg Workout. I did this workout. I'm going to give you my thoughts, what I liked, what I didn't like, and all of that jazz. But before we jump into the video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I did this, it's been a few weeks now. I went to the gym with my husband. We did some of these things together, some things he didn't do, but I did the entire workout from warm up to finish. Overall, I really liked it. I really like Whitney Simmons. My friend actually introduced me to her. I wasn't really familiar with her until maybe like a couple months ago. I really started watching her stuff in December, and I thought that this was a very kind of unique, some things are unique about it, and then some things are kind of your standard grow your booty type of video. So we're going to go through the whole thing, what you start with, and kind of give you the rundown. So the first thing that she has you do is a warm-up for 15 minutes. You're going to go on an incline, and I walked between a 3 and a 3.5. Typically, I try to walk at 3.5, and I was able to keep up with that. I think there was maybe a minute or two where I was a little bit slower than 3.5, but for most of that warm-up, I did do it at that speed, and I did this at a 10% incline. So then the first thing that she has you start with is a Sumo Deadlift with a full rep and then a half rep. I tried this. I really like Sumo Deadlifts, but I wasn't really a fan of the half rep thing. For me, it just felt kind of unnatural. I didn't feel like it was targeting, and maybe I just wasn't like really trying to make it work, but it just really didn't feel like it was targeting my booty like I really wanted it to, which Sumo Deadlift by itself is good enough for me. Like, that's great. I did them this past week and I'm super sore from them. So they definitely work. I just don't know that I was really a big fan of the half lift in there. So really quick before we move on to the next thing with the Sumo Squat, I felt like maybe part of my issue was that I went a little bit too heavy with that. I probably could have gone lighter and just really felt the movement instead of trying to go heavier and repping them out. So that's kind of like my tip in general for all of you, is heavier isn't always better. Sometimes you do need to keep it a little bit lighter so you can focus on the movement and really feel the squeeze when you're doing these types of movements. So then next, she does have you move into a superset. She has you do the split stance RDL and then a split squat. The split stance RDL, for me, it felt really awkward. I didn't love it. They're really, really good hamstring exercises, and this for me, I don't know if it's just because I'm not super flexible or what it was, but I even had Dan try it and he wasn't a really big fan of this movement. I think it's really cool. And again, like, this is just something that it didn't work for me. You may look at this, you may try it and go, this is amazing. I'm glad I found something new, and that's really awesome. I will say I love that she tried doing something new and different, because everybody does a stiff-legged deadlift for their hamstrings, but sometimes it just works. Like, that works for me. I like that she tried something new, and hopefully that works for you. From the split RDL, she has you go into a split squat, which I really, really like. They burn like crazy. Sometimes I like to elevate my front foot just to feel the lunge a little bit deeper. But overall, I really like those. So that was a thumbs up in terms of that superset. I really liked that second part of the superset. So then she has you move into 2 sets of 8 to 10 heavy hip thrusts. So when I first read this, I was like, only 2 sets? Like, what? But then she has you do something called a myo rep hip thrust. So that means you do 10, you rest, you do 5, you rest, and then you do 5. And those kick your booty, no pun intended. They were really, really good. Again, like, I first looked at it and I was like, oh, like, we're only doing 2 sets of these. And then when I started doing it, first of all, I challenged myself a little bit in terms of weight, because I watched her weight and I was like, yeah, I need to go up. Like, I'm kind of being a sissy. So I did go up a little bit in weight. So I did a 45-pound plate on each side. And then I did drop it. So I believe in the video she does tell you to drop the weight. And just because with the myo rep, that it really does burn you out, and it's awesome. So I highly recommend that one. And then the last thing that she has you do is 20 hyperextensions and then 12 straight leg deadlifts. So when it came to the hyperextensions, I thought it was really interesting. I had never heard before that you could turn your feet out, which is crazy that I've never heard this. And there's always so many new and different things in terms of workouts and weightlifting. I'm just surprised I haven't come across this before. And ever since watching this video, I've come across it again. So it's kind of funny that I didn't hear about it and I've heard about it twice. Just kind of interesting. But the hyperextensions, I love doing those. Those for me, two things. One, I realize how weak my back is when I do these. So it's really good that I continue to do them so I can build up my back strength. But two, they are such a great butt exercise. In terms of like a booty building exercise, this is great. And then of course the straight leg deadlift, that's something that is very familiar to most people and a really great hamstring workout. That one is one of my favorites. I really feel it in my hamstrings. It gets me every time. I'm always sore every time I do that. So overall, this was kind of a quick video, but I wanted to run through it, wanted to give you my opinion. I do kind of have a big butt. I'm not trying to grow it by any sense, but I am trying to tone it, and I think these are really good exercises. I definitely recommend that you check out Whitney Simmons' page. I really like her food advice, her fitness advice. I think that she does really work to give you variations. If you don't like using the barbell, she gives you options with dumbbells. If you're not super comfortable with this or that, like, she does give good variations, and I really appreciate that. So I hope that you go check out her page. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I do recommend this workout. Again, there's things that may work for you, things that may not work for you, but that's where you learn. You watch these videos, you adapt, you take pieces, and you can, you know, tailor them to you. You know, same way I did. I didn't really like that split stance. I changed it up, I did something else, and then I continued on with the workout and was able to get a great workout. So you have to kind of just know what works for you, watch videos, find fun new ways to challenge your body, and I promise you won't regret it. So I really appreciate you watching this video. Go ahead, make sure you give that thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next video.